Hey, how's it going in the studio? I'm gonna be taking a look at different areas. In particular, I'm interested to see how hard it is or what next opportunity is gonna be at. I think it's ongoing process. It's I personally believe history keeps repeating itself. So I'm looking to take a look at as well as perhaps share some information about the process how governments are looking to improve different areas. In particular, I'm looking to find as much information when it comes to perhaps converting commercial buildings into homes, if that's even an option, and what would be required to do that, and how hard it might be. I have a hunch, right, that this process constantly repeating itself, right? So, in particular, when it was a lot of changes perhaps taken into effect, even if it was perhaps 10 years ago with introduction of technology, right? Where before then you would need to come in actually in a physical shop to purchase, I don't know, even music, right? So a lot of businesses back then who was selling a lot of I don't know, vinyl CDs, like CDs in general, who you would need to actually go into a shop, right, to purchase those. So all those shops back then would have to move from perhaps physical shops into perhaps digital space and sell all those products and services there. So that cycle had repeated itself many times already, and it's constantly repeating. And perhaps similar things are happening right now where a lot of businesses might be interested in moving away from, if they can, and saving a lot of money, perhaps having presence, physical presence. All the business might be interested in moving perhaps into digital space. And if anything, I like to understand a little bit better what governments did back then as well as what those governments doing now, if anything. How hard it might be. I have noticed that there are some projects in US, and particularly in some of those areas in US where it's very hard to find a place to live, especially if you look into enter different markets, or it's calling like a housing ladder, I guess. It's the concept of that, where you need to, so if you are a young professional, you're looking to purchase your first house, and you can't have anything available up there in the market. What governments might do is in particular some periods, some of the governments up there might have a lot of commercial properties on their balance sheets, and they might be looking into different opportunities how to convert those properties into perhaps living quarters, if that's even an option. If not, perhaps that should be ways of how they can support people, and government actually be up there to serve people, not necessarily just businesses. I don't know what they prefer doing business with. Governments might prefer doing business with business people, not necessarily with the pedestrians, I guess. I don't know. But that should be an option, if anything, and there should be a lot of opportunities out there. In particular, now, where I see a lot of governments looking to attract different businesses, as well as to say the least, a lot of governments should consider in converting more of those properties and offering new opportunities for perhaps even young families, young professionals to live in some of those perhaps convert from commercial, whatever that might look like, right? If that's even doable. I don't know what codes that might be applying to, but either that's even an option. Converting unused commercial buildings into homes is a approach that some local authorities in UK has explored in address housing shortages and revitalize urban areas. This process is often referred to as change of use or permit development, where the use of building is changed from commercial to resident without the need for a full planning application. So there is an option perhaps there, but again, perhaps that's an option there. Depending on your local council, right, within the UK, what would be required, how hard it might be to do, as well as what would be, in particular when it comes to health and safety. I don't know all the details. I'm looking to understand a little bit better this process, perhaps. there might be a lot of opportunities, especially depending on your balance sheets or what kind of properties you have already on those balance sheets, and if it's actually doable. Something as simple as HMOs within UK, it's very heavily regulated markets, right? To understand a little bit about these markets, how many books I have read about those markets, to trying to understand a little bit better. One of the most heavily regulated markets of there. So I can imagine what would be required to do anything properly, right? So I have some understanding. I don't know it that well about how hard it can be to converting from commercial into perhaps living properties. Well, I'm looking to understand a little bit better. Permitted development rights. In England, permitted development rights has been expanded to make it easier to convert certain types of commercial properties into residential use. This is aimed to increase the supply of housing. However, there are specific rules and conditions that must be met, and not all commercial properties are eligible for conversion. But perhaps there are some. So if you were to find yourself in different situations, there's a different options there. Planning permission. In many cases, a formal planning application is required to convert a commercial building into homes, especially if the property does not qualify for permitted development rights. Local planning authorities will assess applications based on various factors, such as impact on the local area and design of layout of property's residential use. There's some of those areas I'm not covering everything in detail. I don't know all the details. I don't know what kind of council you might find yourself in and what kind of information I might be able to find. Building regulations. Converting commercial property into homes also involves adhering to building regulations to ensure that the new residential units meet safety and habitatual standards. Perhaps there are some measures that need to be taken into account, how much space you need to give for all the residents within the building. I don't know all the details. I don't know. Conversion areas and listed buildings. Special rules and restrictions may apply to the commercial buildings in which are located in conversional areas, or it is those buildings are listed buildings. Consultation and community input. Local communities and stakeholders may have the opportunity to provide input and feedback on proposed conversions, especially for larger projects that could significantly impact local areas. Taking everything on board and before perhaps making any decisions there. Affordable housing requirements. Some local authorities may require a portion of their converted houses to be designed as affordable housing to address housing affordability issue. It's always been ongoing. I personally believe it's always been the prices are too high, so perhaps. But again, how supply and demand might be affected. But either way, perhaps having more houses or access to affordable houses would be a key area there that would be perhaps a lot of people might be interested in addressing. People are actually interested in taking a look at where to begin when starting your own livestock enterprise. I have published a book. Looking to the number of books with the same genre. In this book, I'm going to be taking a look at how to achieve first milestone. That would be progress from zero, if you that's where you're finding yourself in, to first $10,000 your response, and how to achieve the significant milestone. If anything, I'm looking to help determining where to begin when doing research, and where you would need to take a look at potentially, if to say the least, how you can save a lot of money when venturing into this business or starting your own first livestock enterprise. I have shared a lot of examples in the book for people who are looking to, or serious, if anything, and looking to understand a little bit better where to begin. You can find it in the description below, as well as Top Retailers has it. It's essential to consult with relevant local planning authorities and seek professional advice if you are interested in converting commercial buildings into homes in UK. The specific rules and regulations can vary depending on the location and type of property, so it's crucial to be aware of local planning policies and guidelines that apply in your area. Additionally, the government policies and regulations can change over time, so it's advisable to check into most up-to-date information and guidelines. Thanks for watching. I'll see you in the next one.